Warning: the following video contains very unstable footage which may cause discomfort or trigger seizures for people with photosensitive epilepsy. Viewer discretion is advised. We're going to start at Eastbourne's train station, then head down Terminus Road for quite a while until we hit the Grand Parade and Eastbourne's lovely shingle seafront. Then we'll head back on ourselves again, heading down Terminus Road, looking at the lovely shops Eastbourne has, before once again returning to Eastbourne train station. We're starting our walk at Eastbourne train station. If you're arriving by train, exit the station on the left, where the town centre sign you can see on screen is located. Be mindful that the station is a busy area, meaning lots of people will be walking by you. As mentioned a moment ago, we're going to exit the train station through the path with the sign that says Town Centre. Be careful, as this exit is a blind bend. A blind bend is a bend in the path you can't see past until you've reached it. As we exit the station, please be aware that there is a crossing a few metres ahead. Also, be mindful that there are no curbs in this area of town, so you may have to be extra careful around roads. When you reach the crossing, press the button on the black box to your right and wait for the green person to appear in the lights on the other side of the road. When they appear, it's safe to cross. There are bumpy bits of flooring at the waiting points of this crossing. You can use these to help you find the crossing point. Before you cross, make sure to look to your right to check no cars are coming. Please be aware that there is an island about 3/4 across the road which you can wait at. However, there are no physical markings to note where it is, meaning if you have a visual impairment, it may be difficult to identify. Be aware that there is a path to the right that buses drive on. This is marked by bumpy pavement, similar to that which we just saw. Here you can see a map of Eastbourne's town centre, which may be useful if you're not familiar with the area. To the left, you can see a Costa, where you can get a hot drink and snack if you'd like. We're going to follow the path in the same direction we crossed the road, walking alongside the shopping centre. Please do be aware of benches, small walls, bike racks and lampposts on the right-hand side of this pathway, as they could be tripping hazards. As mentioned a second ago, these small walls on the right can be especially easy to trip over, so make sure you're staying well away from them. Here you can see the main entrance to the Beacon Shopping Centre. There are a wide mix of stores inside, so feel free to come back to check it out whenever you'd like. While we follow the path away from the train station, we want to make sure to stay roughly 2 to 3 metres from the shops. This will ensure you avoid any major tripping hazards. Watch out for flags and displays on the left, which could be tripping hazards. Be careful of the lamppost directly ahead as the path widens. We're going to continue in the same direction, being mindful of another lamppost directly ahead and a shed on our right. Please be aware that this large area, known as Banker's Corner, often has buskers and pop-up shops. If this is the case while you're on the route, make sure to be aware of where they are. This high street just beyond Banker's Corner is often used as a pop-up shop area, with shops running down the whole street in the centre of the path. If this is the case while you're using the route, it would be best to go on either the right or left side of the street to avoid them. This high street area is relatively nice and flat, with a wide space in the middle to walk or wheel down. Please do be careful of pedestrians, as this area is usually quite busy. Also, be aware of bollards, signs, lampposts, bins and trees on either side of the path. When walking near trees, be aware that their roots have disrupted the floor, making it bumpy and uneven, creating a tripping hazard. Watch out for the large rock statue on the left of the path, as it sticks out a little, which makes it a tripping hazard. Be careful of potential construction such as the footway works seen on the left. This specific construction is now completed and shouldn't have any effect on your walk or wheel. We're going to continue forward, making sure not to follow the curved path as that leads onto a road. Please be careful of the various lampposts, signal towers, signs and trees as the path shortens in width. If you do decide to cross the road and walk on the right side, watch out for chairs and signs that block the path. The trees ahead make this section of pavement very uneven, creating a tripping hazard. A flatter route would be to move around the display and public telephone on the left. Watch out for the bollards which line the side of the road on the right. Also be aware that this tight point may be hard to get through if there are lots of people around. Watch out for the trees and uneven ground around them, which line the path dead ahead. Currently, the road on the right is active with vehicles. In Phase 2 of Eastbourne's redevelopment, this area will become a town square and be fully pedestrianised. Please be mindful of litter on this route, but especially in this area. Be very careful of potential broken glass or similar, as this is near Eastbourne's biggest nightclub. We'll take a right, cross the road and follow up to the seafront. There is a dropped curb to indicate where the crossing is. Please use this to ensure you don't accidentally walk into the road. This road is one way, meaning you only have to check for cars on the right before crossing. You might notice when you cross onto this path that it's slightly slanted and has a slight incline. Please be mindful of this when making your way along the path. Whilst this path is quite wide, do be aware of the tree stumps and bollards on either side, as well as fencing and signs on the left which house a seating area for the pubs. We're coming up to another crossing marked with tactile paving. Make sure to hit the button on our left to let the crossing know you're waiting. Once you see the green person under the traffic lights or hear the beeping, you may cross, but make sure you look both ways before doing so. Once you've crossed the road, continue forwards on the pedestrian path. Be mindful of bollards to the right, as well as seating, flower beds, signs and public phones on the left. The flooring can be uneven at points, so stay aware of this as a tripping hazard. Further, like the previous high street, this pedestrian walkway can have pop-up shops blocking the path. If this is the case, be mindful of tight spaces and crowded areas. At the end of this walkway, we're going to turn right and head towards the crossing, being mindful of fencing, lampposts and signal towers on the left and potential seating on the right as we go. Similar to the last crossing, this one is marked by tactile paving. Again, make sure to press the button and wait for the green person and beeping to appear before looking both ways and crossing the road. In this video, we crossed while the red person was showing. This can be dangerous, so try not to do it. Once we've crossed, we're going to head left and continue along the pavement towards the seafront. Be aware that the path is again slightly tilted and at an incline. Also be aware of uneven flooring, a tight walkway, poles on the left, and advertising material and potential seating on the right-hand side of the path. As mentioned earlier, be careful of potential construction, like the scaffolding on the right here. The road here has been narrowed so the pavement can be enlarged, making it easier and safer to cross. Unfortunately, this area doesn't have a dropped curb, making it difficult if you're a wheelchair or mobility scooter user, or if steep drops cause difficulties. To our left, you can see a dropped curb zebra crossing with tactile paving, which you can use should you want to cross to the left. We're going to follow the pavement to the right, being careful of potential seating, flower beds and fencing on the right, and benches on the left. We're going to take the crossing ahead marked by tactile paving, but be careful of the lamppost in the middle of the path. We will wait for the green person and beeping after we've pressed the button, then We'll look both ways before crossing the road. After crossing, you'll find yourself on the promenade with a lovely view of the ocean. Be careful of the foliage on either side and the small walls that house their flower beds, as well as the bollards directly ahead. To the left you can see Eastbourne's Pier, which is in the middle of the promenade. Looking to the right, you can just about make out the bandstand. If you keep following the promenade all the way to the right, you'll end up at Holywell. If you would like to get down to the lower promenade, you can find steps all along the seafront. But as you can see here, there are a few ramps, which is perfect for wheelchair and mobility scooter users. Do be very careful, however, as the walls on the ramp are very small and block a high fall, making them a very dangerous tripping hazard. Now that we're finally here, you can take in Eastbourne's lovely shingle beach. Feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. However, for the purpose of showing the route, we're going to head back towards the train station, following the same steep slope we used to get down. We're going to cross the road at the crossing you can locate via the textured ground, making sure to wait until the person on the screen goes green, then looking both ways to make sure no cars are coming. Once we've crossed the road, we're going to head right, keeping Harry Ramsden's on our left. Watch out for potential scaffolding like you can see ahead, as well as uneven floor caused by the covers and the slanted angle the pavement's at. Also be mindful of various lampposts and signs on the right-hand side of this walkway. Some businesses might have displays as well as chairs and tables set out on the left, so make sure to watch out for them. We're going to take a left here, heading towards the crossing. Once at the crossing with the textured ground, we will again make sure to wait until we see the green person, or until we see the wait lights turn off. Then look both ways before crossing. Once over the road, we will continue forward, heading back towards the Beacon Shopping Centre. Look out for uneven ground due to overgrown roots, as well as more signs, shelves, tables and chairs placed by stalls on either side. We are going to cross the road at the upcoming crossing, which you can find via its textured ground, making sure once again to wait until you see the green person and hear the beeping before crossing. After crossing, we'll continue forward, being careful again of some uneven floor from root growth and floor coverings. We'll cross the road at the opening here with textured flooring, making sure to look left to ensure there are no cars coming before we cross. Once again, we'll turn left, following the pedestrian path just as before. Be careful of overgrown roots creating uneven floor once again. Be mindful that this is a busy area of town, so there may be lots of people around. Take a wide right here to avoid the advertising sign as well as the uneven floor caused by tree roots. Be careful of uneven flooring caused by bricks not being flush with the floor. Moving across this path, be careful of tree roots once more. On our walk, we crossed to the centre of the walkway due to construction. However, if there is no construction in the way for you, you can continue forward. Once we make it to the end of this path, we want to stay on the right-hand side, walking between the road and shopping centre. Be aware of lampposts in the middle of the walkway here. Watch out for people entering and exiting the shopping centre to the right. Also be mindful of the bicycles stored to the left, as well as the low walls that house flower beds, as these can be tripping hazards. Continue along the walkway, heading towards the train station, where we began and will finish our walk. Watch out for potential signs and flags on your right. We're once again going to cross at the traffic lights ahead, which can be identified by the textured flooring. Make sure to wait for the green person and beeping before crossing to the central island. Then, check again for cars. If there are none, continue across and head for the train station's entrance, where we will conclude our walk. Unfortunately, our camera died just before making it inside the station, so please do forgive us for the sudden ending. Thanks for watching. We hope this video has been helpful. Now, get out there and enjoy the route.